We are live. So this is some Mark Broussard. You know who he is?
I do.
I just did a video today of Mark Broussard. I had never reviewed one of his tracks. What a tremendous singer.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's about as good as they get.
Yeah, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday. We are back again. We are back again for some live track reactions. And today we have a very special guest. We have Joey Landreth here today.
Hey!
And yeah, dude, I cannot thank you enough for being so cool. Where I just did a random video, shot you a message, and you were like, yeah, tomorrow. I just think that's the coolest thing ever.
You know, live a little.
That's right. That's right. Live a little.
That's right.
So, let's see. Richard F., how you doing? Fishing Idaho on a Harley. Story. Got Bluebird out there. Vandy. Mods, thank you so much. Make sure you give some links out to Joey's channel. Get everybody to subscribe over there. And I got some Mark Broussard playing in the background. I'll bring it down. And, dude, so check this out. We'll zoom in here.
Hey!
So,
Look at that.
So, you know my friend Mark Hopkins here in Baltimore.
I do.
Mark is the man.
He is definitely a man, but he is also the man.
Yeah, dude. So he is the one that first turned me on to you. And he comes over my house maybe 2 years ago. And he's got the Sir, and he's got the strings that look like this, and it's tuned in open C. Yeah, exactly. And he's playing the most, metallic sounding stuff ever. And I was like, dude, what are you into? And he goes, oh, you don't know Joey Landreth? You don't know the brothers Landreth? I said, I'm gonna go with no, sir. And so he is the one that turned me on to you. And
bless him.
Yeah, bless him. And one of the things that I just really like about your playing is the constant back and forth between filthy, dirty guitar sounds and licks and super pristine vocals.
Oh, man. Yeah,
I think you do that about as good as I've seen anybody do that. And I think it's so cool because like when I listen to your stuff and I watch you play, I'm always like, dude, this guy is a song guy. He's hammering the melody. Like it's such a pure, passionate vocalist. But then the guitar stuff is so adventurous and so just like fearless, and filthy. And I just think it makes for this amazing combination.
Oh, man. Well, thank you. Those are all really, you're making me blush over here. Come on.
Well, now you get to match your shirt.
I mean, that is red balance. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, red balance.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to do, I know you've done tons of interviews and talked about your gear and all that, but one thing we do here is we play tracks. We play live tracks only. And so I wanted to kind of hear, and I know I kind of prepped you for this to bring some things, and then we'll take some requests from the audience and see if anybody has any questions or things they want here to see you listen to. But I wanted to know, like, that juxtaposition of what I just mentioned, between the guitar sounds and just like being, I mean, a lot of your vocal stuff, I hear like gospel stuff. I hear like really, really soulful stuff that I really connect with. And so I want to know if you would talk a little bit about that background of kind of, the guitar versus vocals, and then maybe play us something that really sent you on this path.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think like I started out initially as a guitar player for hire, and so I was a massive. I'm a fan of the guitar. I love the guitar. I love pedals, amps, the whole thing, so that was kind of my first love. And then I started to write songs, and I always sang. That was kind of one of my things as a side person was that I
have to.
I was good at singing harmonies, and so even though I wasn't necessarily always the perfect guitar player for the gig, I usually, anytime I got a gig, it was because I could sing. It's like, well, Joey's not bad at the guitar, but he can sing. He's good enough at the guitar, and he sings well. So
yeah,
that was kind of where I cut my teeth. And um, because I'm such a student of music, not just the guitar, but music in general. I think when I really started focusing in on singing, I also treated it the same way that I did the guitar. So I did a lot of transcription. I found a lot of my favorite artists, and I learned their licks, and I tried to learn their, as best I could, match their tone, and things like, Donny Hathaway, for example, is one of my favorite singers on the planet.
Yeah.
He does this thing with his vibrato where it's wide enough that it makes the certain notes sound sharp. And so as a guitar player, I would hear that like sort of like fundamental sort of music theory nerdery happening and going like, how do I translate that into singing? How can I capture that myself?
I love it.
And so it was a lot of just a lot of analytical stuff, but also trying to figure out like, how do I take this sort of analytical brain that I have and not get it to stand in the way of just being expressive musically, and that's always been my my main thing is like I love to nerd out over stuff, but I don't want it to get in the way of expression. And so it was like learning people like a lot of gospel singers and a lot of pop, like sort of R&B and then other people who were influenced by that same music too, and trying to cop those things in a way that I understood as a guitar player, but bringing it to the vocal world. So I think like, it's funny now. I understand why you asked me to bring videos, but like the 3 videos that I have are my 3 biggest loves, which is like kind of roots music, gospel music, and like just ferocious fusion guitar.
Yeah, yes. See, and that's what I was hoping that you would bring. Real quick before we jump into it, people are saying your volume is a little low. Is there any way
Okay.
you could...
I think it's just because I'm standing further away from my microphone now. Hey.
There you go.
That should
There
be
you
better.
go.
Sorry, folks.
And people are saying there's some lag issues. I know there's some storms throughout the South. I got everything working on my end. I see some people saying if they switch to desktop and restart the stream, it's fixed. So if you're in that area of the world where that big storm is, hope you're staying safe and know that your internet might be turning to crap right now. So see if you can't restart it and load it from a desktop. All right, Joey. So where do you want to start, man? Give me your first one.
All right. So what do I do? Hit screen share here?
So hit screen share.
All right.
And then
I can't see that because my webcam's in the way.
It's all right. Take your time.
Share screen.
And then you have to make sure you click that little box that says share audio in the bottom left-hand corner.
The hell is the box to record the? Okay.
See, this is my fault. I should have gone over this beforehand.
Sorry, guys. Where the hell is that box? I'm not seeing a box. Maybe I should just send you the link.
All right. There's a private chat on the side if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Oh man. I promise this was expertly curated.
I know it was, dude. I know it was.
Okay, here, cancel that. Oh wait. Shit. Sorry.
You got it, man. We're live.
My bad.
It's all good. It's all good. On that note, I just want to say I know one of our mods, TL, is down in Florida in the middle of that big storm, and I just want to say I hope you're doing well down there. I know he couldn't make it because his power went out, his internet went out, and all that. So, he's fighting Sally tonight. That's right, Vandy, man. So we're all thinking of him. And, it looks like if you restart on your desktop, it's fixing it for people. So that's good. That's good.
I just sent you the chat because it's all my videos are in a different browser, which doesn't work. So
I know. All right, here we go.
Hey, you know what? It's still a miracle. All this technology is still a miracle, even if it's a pain.
Dude, it is absolutely a miracle. Oh, boy, do I love your pick. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put that on like that. So why don't you talk about this for a second, or do you want to play it and then talk?
No, I can talk about it. This is Ry Cooder is one of my oldest heroes. He was one of my dad's heroes, and the short story is I grew up listening to this music, and I didn't like it until I was in about my mid to late 20s.
Isn't it funny how that happens?
Yeah, and it was just like Ry Cooder was just this weird music that my parents really liked that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And then one day I woke up and just got it. And this is the first single off of his most recent record. I think his most recent record. He's really prolific, so there might already be something new. But I found this performance really inspiring because, I mean, the guy, he's got to be in his 70s, and the sounds are so adventurous. You know, the saxophone player is doing something so weird, but I love that he's just like, let's do it, let's go there, let's and I think it's incredible what these guys are doing, and so I'm really inspired by the fact that he's not afraid to take risks, even when he could very easily just sit back and do what he's done for the last 50 years of his career, but he's like, nah, let's have fun.
Because the people that are like that, that's why they do it, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I love players like that too. I love risk takers, fearless players. That's, you know, I get you. All right, so this is Ry Cooder. This is the Prodigal Son live in studio from 2018. We're gonna let this play through, unless of course you have timestamps or a place you want to stop and talk about it.
Not at all. Just enjoy it.
All right, here we go. Cheers, everyone. Let me bring the volume up. That's a great one.
And that's his son playing drums.
Really?
Yeah.
Drums sound fantastic.
Well, the prodigal son was a forward child. His mind was not to obey. But after he left his father's house, he thought he had gone astray. And that's why I believe, go back home, I will go back home, 'cause I believe, go back home and be the servant of it all. Well, his father saw him coming, and he met him with a smile. He threw his arms around him. He said, now that is my darling child. And
He just always plays the right stuff.
Yeah.
Go back home and I will
Who's that on bass?
go back home.
I don't know.
I will go back home and be the servant of the Lord. Father asked the prodigal, son, why you been gone so long? What made you so love the world and forget your happy home? Well, the prodigal said, I really searched the world for true religion.
You know what I mean? Like that saxophone. What is that guy even doing? I don't know, but it's so fun.
Till I came to a little place called Bakersfield that'll ease my troubling mind. And that's why I will go back home. I will go back home as I leave.
What is
And be the servant of the Lord. I wandered into a tavern where music band was playing.
I love this verse. The prodigal son, he leaves home so he can go listen to pedal steel guitar.
I feel that I was praying, and I asked the comely waitress, hey baby,
Hey, baby.
is this a new teaching? She said there is no God but God, and Ralph Moody is his name. I said, let me empty your ashtray, Mr. Mooney. Oh, and if the drunks interfere, I'll be sad. But just as long as you sit there on the bandstand and play a guitar like Buddha, I'll be glad. That's why
that's pretty much it. They just jam out from this point on. But
I love it when dude. That was a great groove. I love what the drummer is doing, just riding on that like pingy thing. But
Yeah.
whenever the vocals, the riff, and the line all do that
yeah,
like all at the same time, I love things like that.
yeah, he's the king of like. Like just that kind of like, I don't know, like bubbly eighth note. I don't know. I love
Yeah,
it.
dude. No, that was killer.
Yeah.
So you want to try something? You want to try something crazy? Actually, hold on a second, guys. I'm seeing so many people are having lag. Some people are saying to start it and stop it again. Oh man. I don't know if I can start and stop it again. We're gonna have to muscle through here. Robert Baker says, "I love Joey." Robert, we love you too, man.
Oh,
Do you know Robert?
I do know Robert. Robert, how are you, man?
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, he just that groove. It always has that swampy groove, and I don't know what the sax was doing in there. You're right. That was crazy.
He's plugged into some crazy pedal that I cannot, or pair of pedals that I cannot identify. But
Yeah.
I love what he's doing. I really, really do love it. I don't tire of it.
Yeah. All right. So now, if anybody has any questions out there, we're going to we can take some questions or any requests. I see some people super chatted in here. You feel like hearing something from one of the requesters that you don't know what's coming?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so let's do Deuce de Mortis here. He says, how about some bluegrass? Mountain Heart, the Cottage Sessions. You know what that is?
I don't.
That's the beauty of this channel, brother. Let's do it.
What's going on?
All right, let's put this in here. Let's put this in here. Boom. You never know what anything's going to be here. Let's just do it.
Everybody? Down.
Let's jump to the
And-
spot.
The string dusters. Start it to
Come on.
Oh, hey, I've played this session before at Paste in New York.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. It's like,
Cool.
I've seen that room. Oh, I've been in there.
Yeah. All right. Guy, he didn't time stamp me. Here we go. 136. Bluegrass with piano.
I'm just a man making my way. Sometimes a sinner, sometimes a saint. I carry on, do the best that I can, Lord, but I've struggled with who I am. Soul searching.
That's clean.
There once was a girl, she held me tight, took all her love like a thief in the night. After all this time, I never dreamed I'd still hold on to her memory. Soul searching. Soul searching.
Sometimes I wonder what I believe. Yes, I've traveled this life looking for signs, pick me apart a piece at a time.
Yeah, man. I don't typically, hear bluegrass with piano like that, but that was clean. That was good, man. I don't know those guys.
Yeah, I'll buy what they're selling. Yeah, I'm into it. Give
Yeah.
me two.
Give me two. Give me
Yeah.
two. Give me two.
And a bunch of people really good at their instruments, singing in harmony. I don't care what it is. I'll listen to it.
Dude, I don't know how much you've gone down the bluegrass rabbit hole, but I went down it pretty good when I lived in California for a while. By the way, where are you?
I'm in Winnipeg, in Canada.
Okay, yeah, I knew you were in
Winnipeg,
Canada.
Yeah.
But I just, I'm sure you have a similar version of this. But, when I was younger, I was a metalhead and always more and more, faster, all the whatever. And then I got bit by the bluegrass bug real hard. And I feel like ever since, I've been very much on the hunt for the inside, where simpler structures, simpler melodies, just done perfectly. And still improvised, but, bluegrass is rather strict in that vein, in that sense. And I love seeing people like that. You know what I really like about that genre too is it's one of the only ones where there's one mic and they self-mix, and they lean in and out, and all the instruments are very different volumes and timbres.
Yeah.
And so when you see like really, really, really tight bluegrass like that, you're just like, wow, that's like the top of the mountain, like where it's like 3 chords, perfect stories, sometimes 4 or 5 part harmonies. They're mixing themselves, and it's just like 2-minute hit it and quit it, and it's just amazing stuff. I love that stuff so much.
Totally.
Yeah. Kenny, did you just throw a Hondo up here? Dude, unbelievable. Thank you so much. You are my hero. He wants to hear Sam Stone by John Prine live. With pleasure, sir. That is a hell of a donation, and I really appreciate it. So we'll do one more, and then I'll send it back to you to pick a track. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sam Stone, John Prine. Do you know this tune?
I do. I'm a new John Prine fan. So I kind of like binged everything. I don't know everything intimately, but I got the chance to meet him on a cruise ship.
Really?
He was doing a cruise. Yeah, and he was just the nicest guy on the planet. Such a truly nice man. It's such a loss to lose him this year, but
I know. So on a total side note, I'm sitting here on my desk. At the top of my desk is this John Prine Beyond Words book.
yeah.
And the reason I got that is because I did a video a week back about Arlo, and he's recently signed to John Prine's record label, Oh Boy Records. And so what I've found is that the people that run this label are very much just like him. Like, they're incredibly kind people. And they actually reached out to me and said, hey, if you didn't know this artist, check him out. And so I did it, and they sent me this to say thank you. And it's so
how cool is that?
It's so freaking cool. And what's great is that in the book they have all his handwritten sketches of like Angel from Montgomery and all these different things, and his picture of like what he looked like at that time, and it shows his songwriting process where you show him cross out words and cross out kid and write child, all those types of things that all of us that fall in love with stories love about him.
Fine tuning the details. That's very cool.
It's so cool. So shout out to them. Anyway, so here we go. Let's bring this up, and then we'll let you pick. We'll let you pick one more.
All right.
Let's do it. So this is John Prine, Sam Stone live.
Love Irish Dement, man. Well, I called her up and told her I had this song I wanted her to sing, and I said, Iris, some of the lyrics maybe might be a little questionable. You know? So I sent the tape and the lyrics to her, and I didn't hear back for about a week. Finally, I called her and I said, well, what do you think? You know, I said, when I was writing it, I said, you were the one I had in mind singing the girl part. She said, yeah, you probably couldn't get nobody else. Sam Stone came home to his wife and family after serving in the conflict overseas. And the time that he served has shattered all his nerves and left a little shrapnel in his knee. But the morphine eased the pain, and the grass grew around his brain and gave him all the confidence he lacked. With a purple heart and a monkey on his back.
Man.
There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. And Jesus Christ died for nothing, I suppose.
God, I
Little
know.
pictures have big ears. Don't stop to count the years. Sweet songs never last too long on broken radios. Sam Stone's welcome home didn't last too long. He went to work when he'd spent his last dime. And Sammy took to stealing, but when he got that empty feeling for $100 habit without overtime. And the gold rolled through his veins like 1,000 railroad trains, and eased his mind in the hours that he chose, while the kids ran around wearing other people's clothes. There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. And Jesus Christ died for nothing, I suppose. Little pictures have big ears. Don't stop to count the years. Sweet songs never last too long on broken radios. Sam Stone was alone when he popped his last balloon, climbing walls while sitting in a chair. Well, he played his last request while the room smelled just like death, with an overdose hovering in the air. But life had lost its fun, and there was nothing to be done but trade his house that he bought on the GI Bill for a flag draped casket on a local hero's hill. There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. And Jesus Christ died for nothing, I suppose. Little pictures have big ears. Don't stop to count the years. Sweet songs never last too long on broken radios.
I mean, Jesus, right?
Yeah, what a beautiful song. I do know that song. I just didn't keep track of the title, but
Yeah.
that the chorus is just like the most heartbreaking thing ever.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Hey, Kenny, I love you. Stop donating. No, that was Kenny. That was tremendous, and thank you so much. You know how much your support means to me. It's people like you that make this possible. You know that. But yeah, man, I popped his last balloon climbing walls, sitting in a chair. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
came in with a Purple Heart and a monkey on his back. It's
Yeah.
just like. You know what?
There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. Like, God.
I'm such a story guy, and like so when he passed away, I had really close family that had seen him hundreds of times. You know, they were true fans. They knew him personally, and so anytime we'd all get together, whether it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, or whatever. You know, we'd all, one of them would always break out an acoustic guitar and it would always sing John Prine tunes. And so, when he passed away, I made this video of the four of their favorite songs that they loved. And I titled it, A Cherished Painter of American Pictures. I just don't feel like there's many people that just really capture a single person and their story. In my mind, certainly one of the best at that to ever that I've ever come across. At least an American version of that. I'm a huge John Prine fan.
Yeah, I think he's like, he is one of the great composers of our time, like of sort of North American music. That's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Jason Isbell comes to mind.
Yeah.
Who's another person who's really amazing at weaving those kind of stories. And that was the thing that struck me the most, because the cruise ship thing I was on is this thing called KAMO, where where it's like all your favorite singer-songwriters on a boat, basically like a floating festival. It was incredible. And I'm not a cruise ship guy at all. That's like my worst nightmare. Just like watching a bunch of people overeat and get drunk in a pool. But this was not like that. It was amazing. But John Prine really, he really fostered, I think, like a relationship with Jason Isbell and his wife Amanda Shires, and he would, every time John would go up and play on the boat, he would invite them up to play, and he would like get them to play a couple of their own songs, and it was just like he knew exactly what it was worth to put his stamp of approval on something, and he made sure that every single person on the boat saw it happen. Yeah, and it was just like one of the most beautiful examples of stewardship, and I just thought it was the classiest friggin' thing I'd ever seen.
I love that story, and I believe it or not, just recently stumbled across Jason Isbell from this channel just a matter of months ago. I know it sounds crazy, but I could not agree more with them being in the same league. I mean, I literally just did a video about Jason the other day. The If We Were Vampires song is like, I'm not sure you can write better songs. You know what I mean?
Have you listened to the record, Southeastern record?
I just little pieces here and there. So I'm on this weird trip right now where like I basically only listen to stuff with the camera on because that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, I get that.
So I and learn it real time. So no, I have not listened to it front to back like I should.
If you get a spare moment, it is incredible, and there are two standout songs on that record to me that make me feel the same way that John Prine song just did. But yeah, definitely dig into it. And I feel the same when you said, like, hey, send me some links or get some links ready of things that you're inspired by. It's like, man, I don't listen to anything. I make so much music in my life that, like, when I turn on the radio, it's talk radio. Like, it's AM, it's the news, it's podcasts. Dude. I'm just like, I don't want to hear music.
Dude, I am exactly the same way. AM, talk radio, news, podcast. Like, no notes. No
For-
background music.
No, for us in Canada, we have like the BBC, we have the CBC.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's sort of publicly sourced, and it's just like it's just so wholesome, and there's just
Yeah.
like I don't know, just soothing people's voices talking about traffic.
Yeah, dude, I hear
Stay
you.
off La Jamodier Boulevard. There's that.
La Jamodier.
Yeah.
But yeah, along that line, before I let you pick the next track, I just wanted to say that I, going with that story about Jason, where that sense of stewardship and giving their vote of approval for someone, I found out about a huge country pop star, Casey Musgraves, through John Prine.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with her stuff at all.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan.
Dude, she's fucking great.
Yeah.
And I found out about her through John Prine, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a really great video of he talks about the day that he met her, and she comes up to him and she tries to get him to go outside and smoke a joint with her, because when she first gets to Nashville. She said John Prine was her biggest writing inspiration, and she always wanted to get signed to his record label. And she said more than anything, the whole song she wrote a song called "Burn One with John Prine," which is all about how all she ever wanted to do, like her dream of heaven is to burn one with John Prine. and she tells him this on stage. It's a great. You've never seen that?
No.
You know what? Dealer's choice. I'm gonna play it for you.
Let's do it. I saw her on that same boat. It was amazing.
Really? What
Yeah,
hell boat was this?
Man,
I'm on the wrong boat.
You're on the wrong boat, brother.
Clearly. Jesus. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to let it play. We're going down a totally different tangent tonight, but I like it.
Come on.
Let's do it.
Let's see, I don't know how many years ago, about 6 or 7.
4 or 5.
Well,
Hey,
when you get older, it seems like
Could be
6 or 7. I do this annual Christmas party in Nashville. We don't raise money for anything, we just raise money for beer, whatever beer. Everybody just kind of kicks in the Christmas season with the whole damn family. And so I was getting ready to do the whole damn family one December, and this little girl comes up to me with her buddy, and they want to take me out in the parking lot and get me high. And I said, gee, thanks, but I've got...
no thanks.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I had to go up, we had to get the whole damn family going. So we got our picture taken together, and the next thing I know, I'm over at my record company, Old Boy Records, and I hear a tape, and it's Casey singing this song about how she liked to burn one with John Prine.
So I wasn't successful in my quest, but here I am, so I guess that means something.
It takes a while, but I'm convinced.
Well, maybe one of these days I'll convince you. So we were running through songs yesterday, and he said, "Hey, what about that song, John Prine? You gonna do it?" And I was like, "God, no." I was like, I didn't write it thinking I'd be sitting next to the guy that the title was.
I can't figure out what I like so much about that song.
I figured I'd bust it out tonight.
So before I let it play, for anybody that hasn't seen this, one of my favorite things about this is you can see exactly what you're kind of talking about when you were talking about Jason. The way that he kind of looks at her, like this is a big deal, and she gets the total stamp of approval. Like they have tremendous respect for each other. I love watching him watch her sing this song. I think it's tremendous.
Oh, cool.
But you gotta forgive me if I start crying. Try not to. But yeah, this is one of the first songs I wrote when I moved to Nashville, and I was honestly listening to a lot of his music. A friend turned me on and said, "You gotta hear this guy named John Prine," and I fell in love with it. And so he's been a big inspiration. All right, here we go. Get a little drunk, get a little loud. Stupid me, my rebel now. Ain't all wrong, but I ain't alright. See the world in black and white. My grandma cried and then I pierced my nose. I never liked doing what I was told. Don't judge me and I won't judge you, 'cause I ain't walking in your shoes. 'Cause I ain't one to knock religion, though it's always knocking me. Always running with the wrong crowd, right where I wanna be. I ain't good at being careful, I just say what's on my mind. Like my idea of heaven is burn one with John Prine. Maybe he would sit a while and render me a legal smile. You gonna do that one? That he would understand just how I feel and who I am. 'Cause I ain't one to knock religion, though it's always knocking me. Always running with the wrong crowd, right where I wanna be. I ain't good at being careful, I just say what's on my mind. Like my idea of heaven is to burn one with that guy. I play my life like super dare. I'm not all here, but I'm all there. Yeah.
Love that bridge.
Yeah.
And all the colors people paint me, don't they know they'll never change me? Yeah. 'Cause I ain't one to knock religion, though it's always knocking me. Always running with the wrong crowd, right where I wanna be. I'm not good at being careful, I just say what's on my mind. Like my idea of heaven is to burn one with John Prine. Yeah, my idea of heaven is to go on a cruise and sing it around. Yeah, John Prine.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been on KMO because she said
Did
to
she
go-
just say the cruise?
Yeah. That must have been.
So you were probably in that audience or in the bathroom or at the
Yeah,
bar.
very likely. Very likely I was there. I don't remember that, so I think I probably missed that. What an idiot.
But dude, she's good.
She's amazing. And man, that record, the most recent one, Golden Hour. Oh
Dude.
man, it's so good. I love that album.
Dude,
I love it so much.
Dude, I love that. I love the production on the two. There's
Yeah.
so much space and room.
Man, the acoustic guitar sound on the very first song.
Yes. I'm so happy that we went down this rabbit hole and we're talking about this. I'm huge fan of that.
Yeah.
Kenny, again, thank you so much. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that later, maybe even the next stream. Your support is tremendous. I really appreciate it.
Kenny,
so much.
you're a hero.
Kenny, you are literally a hero. Beer money for the mods. Okay, so Joey, back to you. Dealer's
Yeah, all right,
choice.
all right,
What you
all right.
got for us next?
I'm gonna send you a little Corey Henry from
Yes. Yes.
from his revival project.
Okay.
I'm not a religious guy, but I absolutely love gospel music.
Me too.
I love everything about it.
Yes.
And Corey Henry obviously is an absolute monster, but I think my favorite version of him is just on Hammond B3. So
Yeah.
that's what this is. He's doing a cover of a Beatles tune of Yesterday, and his just like he does some really really fun adventurous stuff, but he just does justice to the melody and the harmony. I think I'm a big harmony nerd as well,
Yeah.
and he uses some really really fun, some fun concepts, but also, a lot of like things like the diminished sixth sort of tradition, where
Diminished sixth tradition. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that tradition.
well, so the idea of the diminished sixth, it's a scale. So if you, and it's essentially one way to generate like 4-part harmony, kind of the same way that you would using like a shape note scale, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So if you harmonize that in triads, you get. So you get this really nice sort of.
Oh God, that's beautiful.
You get these really beautiful sounds. And the diminished sixth is a similar concept, but with 4-part harmony. So you take the same idea where you limit a major scale, but in this case we actually add a note. So we take a major scale. And just so everybody knows, I'm in an open tuning, so these fingerings are not going to line up with what you're.
Yeah, no. We're just taking it in right now.
So I'm in the key of B flat. So you get the diminished sixth scale is, and then there's also a diminished minor sixth scale, which is the same idea but with a flatted third. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 6, 7, 1. And so when you harmonize that, starting on a sixth chord, you harmonize it stepwise. So I'm just going through the scale steps now. You get.
Wow.
And what's the last one? I can't remember what it is. And then there's all kinds of different inversions of that, and so it's one way that you can get in and out of sort of tonal centers. So. Things like that. You can pivot into a new key using the diminished chord, because the diminished chord resolves to 4 different places, or 8 different places if you count tonic diminished and then dominant diminished. But so it can be a really adventurous idea, but it's also it's kind of a tradition, and you hear him using that all over in his sort of Hammond playing, in his gospel thing. And I mean, the funny thing is for a lot of these people who grew up in the gospel tradition, I doubt that anybody's really thinking that hard about it. It's just fluent in the language of that music. But to sort of to overanalyze it, that's kind of what that is. And then that's also used a lot in bebop. Barry Harris was famous for kind of incorporating that, and you hear that a lot in sort of bebop and jazz stuff like that. But
No, that sounds gorgeous. I admittedly have never learned any kind of sounds like that. I mean, I've never gone down that road, man.
yeah, it's fun, and you could do it like between the 1 chord and the 4 chord. So if you sort of look at what the 1 chord would be, the way it kind of spells out is you get 1 major 6, 2 diminished. So every note that's a non-chord tone to the major 6 chord winds up being a diminished chord. So you get B flat major 6, C diminished, B flat major 6 over D, E flat diminished.
Tone in there, yeah.
So, but then if you do the same thing for the 4 chord, you can pivot to the 4 chord by going. Sorry. That was wrong.
Yeah.
So you just get a lot of really nice kind of.
No,
it's very luscious sounding.
That's the word, luscious. Yeah, it is. And so what you're saying is, like, whether or not a lot of these players think about it all that much or know exactly what they're doing, but adding the 6th on top of basic triads and moving it around is a gospel kind of thing.
I think so. I mean, but particularly what happens is when you add the flatted six to the scale, that's where that sort of diminished tonality comes in. The other kind of way to think about that is that that diminished chord is like a function of the 5 chord. So it's almost like a flat 9. Like whenever you're playing through the inversion set, you have the 1 chord. So it's kind of like basically walking up the scale going 1 5 1 5 1 5 1, but with some spicy sounds. So there's a couple of different ways to think about that. And then when you're using it to pivot to, for example, the 4 chord, then you're treating the 1 chord as the 5. So it becomes kind of like the flat 9, the 1 chord with the flat 9, with that, which then leads you to the 4 chord. So it's really about like targeting tonal centers, but it's rooted within the diatonic system. So you're not stepping out into some whack. I mean, it is obviously, it's not like a simple idea, but you're not stepping out super far from like a traditional key center 1, 4, and 5. You're very much operating within that, but giving yourself some more adventurous notes. So
See, this just shows us all how there's just endless room to grow forever. You know what I mean? Like
forever and ever and ever.
Forever and ever and ever. Like, you just totally blew my mind. Let's jump in, man. Let's jump into Corey Henry. Now, are we letting it play? You got a timestamp for me? What you thinking here?
I mean, let's play it until we're sick of it. I mean, it's a long video, so maybe let's just get in a handful of minutes.
Okay, here we go. So this is Corey Henry, the Revival Project, Yesterday. That's right, Brian. Yes.
Bring in the bass pedals.
Yes. Bass sounds awesome.
That's amazing. What an instrument, man.
Yeah.
I won't talk.
It's okay. You can whisper. I love those.
I know, me too.
Those are the best.
Just whenever you hear it, it's like, oh.
Hello.
I love it. People are worshiping to the Beatles while he's playing this, but like I said, I'm not religious, and I'd be right there, just like.
Dude, tell me about it. Yeah, that's a good stab.
Most stabbing is bad, but that's good stabbing.
Oh yeah.
He's even feeling it.
Oh yeah, he's doing the Ray Charles. He's doing the with the microphone. Dude, this recording is amazing.
It is. There's a whole record of this called The Revival, and it's like, it's incredible.
Yes, sir. Oh, dude.
That's kind of that diminished six stuff. Such satisfying chord progression.
Dude. Dude, it's unbelievable.
Oh, quick key change. Why not?
How do you even do that?
I don't know, but he got back to the key of D like before you even noticed that he was out of it. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he just key changed for a second. And just keep in mind, he's also playing bass with his left foot.
Dude.
You know what I
And
mean?
it sounds amazing.
Yeah. And he's been playing the B3 I think since he was like 3 years old. Like there are videos of him like like so small that his feet can't reach the ground. You know.
That's church, man.
Yeah.
Those guys.
That's what I mean. Like you grow up in that.
They
like,
do it for life.
Yeah. Oh, that's some Olivier Messiaen stuff right there. Anyways, it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on.
No, dude, this is that's
Oh, we got through most of that actually.
yeah, dude, that's one of the most original, like amazing things I've seen in a long time. Those
Man, you got to check out that whole record. It's gonna blow your brain.
dude, I already feel like it's happening. Those aside from the actual harmony and the things that are way, frankly, you know, over my head, you know, like I don't come from that world, and it really would not be intuitive for me to try to dissect it on the fly. But the dynamics and the touch and those little lightning strikes, those stabs and everything, and doing it with the feet and then how it's almost like there's like multiple little stories happening at the same time in there. It's just like it seems like complete independence between the feet and like each of the hands, but yet it's the same thing. It's little chapters, different chapters in the same book. It's a weird, that was really good.
I feel like a lot of those, the folks who come from the gospel sort of tradition, they know that instrument in a way that even the greats, you know, just don't. You know what I mean? Like which drawbars to pull to make you feel this thing or to get this point across. because
Because there's that
I'm a bit of
physical
a
thing to it.
yeah, totally. I'm slowly becoming a bit of a Hammond nerd. I've got my own Hammond here, and I don't I don't play it very well.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But the I also can't believe that somebody invented that thing. That somebody was like, yeah, we got to find a solution for the pipe organ. The Hammond B3. I'm sure it had different iterations, but it's insane. It is insane. Anyway.
Yeah, no. People like that, I mean, that can figure that out. And I forget who commented on there, but switching all the different tones in time, like a quick little grab, you know what I mean, and all the different levers, and I mean, it's wild to watch because it's so unbelievably complex, and you have to be so fast. You have to get there and come back before you lose it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But it's really interesting the way that a B3 is laid out is you've got a handful of presets, which is crazy. That an organic or like an analog instrument like that has presets, but it does. And then you've got on the black and like the reverse keys on the left. That's where your presets are. And so the B flat key and the B natural key, those are your different banks of drawbars. But so the drawbars for the top manual are on the left so that you can keep playing with your right hand and grab them with your left hand. And then the drawbars for the bottom manual are opposite, so you can play with your left hand and grab with the other one. I mean, I don't know what you do when you're playing the bottom manual with your right hand. I guess you got to reach over. But it's just like everything is kind of thought out. And you can plan where it's just such a crazy instrument. It's crazy. And watching somebody like him, or there's many other people who also play that thing like crazy. It's just wild. It's such a different thing.
Yeah, dude. Sorry. That's insane. So real quick, before we take another one, I'm not going to keep you all night here, but before we take another request and maybe a question for you guys, for you, I know that you've been doing a lot of online teaching lately. I actually talked to someone here in Maryland. I can't remember his name. Forgive me, but I talked to him on the phone, who's been taking lessons with you. And so how long you been doing that? Is that a COVID thing, or have you been into teaching for a long time?
I've been into teaching for a long time, but it wasn't until COVID that I started doing it more regularly. So right now I teach every Wednesday. And before it was, because I mostly spend most of my time on the road touring. So I would just teach when I was off the road. But now, I pretty much teach every Wednesday. If anybody's interested, you can go to joeylandreth.com/lessons and sign up there.
Mods, make sure you link that up. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But I love teaching. I love learning about music, and I love thinking about music. I love talking about music. So it's Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame. No one can tour and go anywhere. I mean, I can't wait till you guys get back on the road, and if you ever come through the Mid-Atlantic, I know I'll be there. I'm really looking forward to it. 2021.
It's gonna happen, man. It is gonna happen. You said you're in Baltimore?
I'm in Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't actually played in Baltimore proper for quite a while, but we do like the Rams Head in Annapolis.
Yeah, that's a cool venue, man.
It is. It's a great it's a great venue. But yeah, so we do come that way from time to time, but it has been a while.
It's been a minute. Well, I'll be keep my eye out. So yeah, mods, please link that up. Anybody that is looking to learn. I mean, I'm sure it's not just the open C slide thing, but you teach all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I bet.
Absolutely.
I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you do a great job. Is it all one-on-one Skype stuff, Zoom stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Skype, Zoom, Google Hangouts, whatever your preferred method is.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I know it's already been an hour. I'm gonna do another request if it's okay with you.
Absolutely.
And then maybe a question or two, and then if you have one more, maybe we'll let you round out with a trifecta.
Sounds good. I'll get that loaded up for you.
All right, cool. So this one Guys, I'm not doing super chats in order now. I'm kind of going through them to pick out some interesting ones. I know I couldn't get past that $100 from Kenny. Kenny just came and stole the whole stream. So, but you know that's how it goes sometimes. But this one is from Alex Tansley. This is D'Angelo and the Vanguard. Betray My Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling this one would ring true. So he says, be sure to stay till 2:30 for Sharky to go off.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
See?
Yes.
See how it goes here? I'm telling you, this whole channel is kind of like a challenge. You know, it's kind of like a one-upsmanship. You know, of like who's got the hotter tracks. And I'm telling you, every week that we're on here, I get blown away. And it's like, I feel so privileged because like so many of the people that watch this channel and like share the links, they're like such passionate people. And like every week I'm like, how did I not know about that? How did I not know about that? But I know about D'Angelo. Here we go. Let's bring this in here. There's that D'Angelo chord. I feel like, sorry, but in so many of his songs, you just got that minor triad, you know, whether it's the top of a ninth chord or whatever, but it's just that jangly, it's in so many of his tunes. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go.
As the day must have its sun, and the night must have its moon.
Yeah.
Sure as both must rise and fall, I'll be there to see you do. Just as long as there is time, I will never leave your side. And if ever that you feel that my love is not sincere, I will never betray my heart. I will never betray my heart. I will never betray my heart. Like the breeze that blows into I will whisper and keep you cool. This I swear with all that's true. I'll take nothing in place of you. When you feel it down, you must all can depend on me. You don't ever have to feel that my love is not sincere. I will never betray my heart. I will never betray my heart. I will never betray my heart. I run to the bridge, through the storm, through the rain. I'll come running to ease your pain, like the rail's supposed to train, like the love in your pain. I will never betray my heart. I will never betray my heart. I will never betray my heart.
Pino on the bass. Come on.
Dude, right? Dude, you love these grooves, man.
This I swear with all this truth. Oh, I take nothing in place of you. I said that whenever you feel the doubt that I'm loving you, you must know.
I mean, they just have that groove, man. You know,
Yeah.
I those guys are so good. Those guys are so good.
It's too good.
It's too good. Yeah, more Pinot is right, Anthony Clark. More Pinot.
I was playing back in 2016. I went to Byron Bay Blues Fest, which is in Australia, and
Yeah.
he was headlining. It was crazy. It was Kendrick Lamar was one of the headliners. D'Angelo was one of the headliners. Tedeschi Trucks Band. It was bonkers. The best festival I've ever been to. And Pino wasn't playing bass, but it was his son playing bass.
And he's great.
Rocco Palladino, yeah. And it was like, man, that guy looks a lot like Pino Palladino, but he definitely is not. And then when they introduced him, it was like, wow, he's for sure related. So yeah, it was amazing. Really
Yeah, I wonder how that stuff happens. But yeah, what was I just watching?
Nepotism at its finest.
It's real, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It's real.
Oh, yeah. I need a bass player. I know a guy kind of looks like me. He's got access to all my gear. So.
It's like maybe if I duplicate myself, I can get twice the work. Oh wait, maybe
Yeah.
I can.
Sorry, son. You're not getting a paycheck.
I got one upstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, if anybody has any questions for Joey, let's get those ready, mods. If you see anything that stands out, please let me know. Joey, I'm not going to keep you forever. I know you got one more track, or if you want to take one more request, it's entirely up to you.
I'd take a request. Why don't we do that?
All right. Let's see what else we got here. I'll tell you what. I'll let you choose. I'm gonna read them to you. You stop me when you feel like you got a hot one you want to do.
All right.
Okay. So these are all super chats. Again, guys, thank you so much for donating. You guys make this all possible. I really, really, genuinely appreciate it. So we got Mike Love doing a tribute to Chris Cornell's Seasons. We got Elephant, Jason Isbell off the Southeastern record. Roadless by Frightened Rabbit. Don't know what that is. Stone Temple Pilots Big Empty Acoustic. Tool live at JC Dobbs 92. Interesting. Love Tool. Are you a Tool fan?
I mean, I appreciate it. I'm not an expert at all, but
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Punch Brothers, My Oh My.
oh, let's do that. I love the
Okay.
Punch Brothers.
Me too. Now this person did the NPR Tiny Music Desk concert, which I can't do because they will block it. But we'll find a different version. Yeah. So I don't know how much you're familiar with all this kind of stuff in your world, but the copyright thing on YouTube is the Wild West, brother.
Oh
and, yeah. And some rights holders share the money, some take the money, some block, and some, like NPR, actually do an immediate copyright strike on your account. And if you get 3, they take your whole channel. And I actually had that happen to me once, and I got them on the phone because one of my amazing, people that watch, my subscribers, had an in there and worked there, and basically they explained to me that they're a nonprofit, so like when people go in there, they basically have to sign that no one will ever make any money off this, and this will never, ever be shown anywhere outside of this. So they have this ridiculous policy. But now we know, and so we don't play those.
Crazy.
It is, I'm telling you, it is the Wild West. All right. So this, Punch Brothers, My Oh My, live, and, who did this? Let's make sure we credit them. This is Mitch Ellingson. Mitch, thank you so much for the donation. Sincerely appreciate it. Here we go. Isn't this fun, dude?
Wonderful. I love it.
Totally different than you're used to, I'm sure.
I mean, what better way to spend a Tuesday night?
That's right. That's why we do it.
Hanging out with a new friend, listening to good tunes.
That's it. Set opener, huh?
Howdy, Boston!
So good to be back. Look at all you.
I love him.
Beautiful too.
Chris Thiele. I love watching bands get started like this.
Yeah.
Rise up, blinking in the sun.
Yeah.
Wrapped in invisible wire, like something beautiful is gonna come. Out from underneath our thumbs,
Yeah.
to let freedom vibrate, not breathe. 'Cause we can listen to everyone. If we wanna hear ourselves sing, my, oh my, what a wonderful day we're having. We're having.
This is fantastic.
Why, oh, why are we looking for a way outside here? Outside here. I see the green grass below. I feel the warmth of the screen. Is it beautiful? Maybe so. What if it keeps us singing? My, oh my, what a wonderful day we're having. We're having. Why, oh, why are we looking for a way outside here? Outside here. How long, oh Lord, can you keep the whole world spinning under our thumbs? Spinning under our thumbs. Spinning under our thumbs.
Don't you love when the crowd's in it like that?
Yeah. It's like modern day classical music in the sense that it's so orchestrated,
Yeah.
so intentional, but just in
That's what I
like
was kinda
in a
saying
traditional ensemble. It's so interesting.
Well, that's what I was kind of saying before about, you know, what I really fell in love with that kind of the strictness of bluegrass music. Like, intentional is the right word. You know what I mean? It's so incredibly well arranged, and like that was one of like the biggest. I mean, that music set me on a lot of tangents, but having everybody in the band know their inversions and move together and voice lead together. You know what I mean? Matched with the harmonies. That is just. I came from a metal background, like a total riffer madness, and so little basic things like that totally changed how I view harmony and being a rhythm player as well. Because in those bands, you know, where there's no percussionist, you know, everybody is the rhythm and everybody's the harmony, and they all take the melody when they do the lead too. And knowing all the, you know, being in control of your dynamics, being, you know, and knowing all the different voice leadings so everything's stacked evenly. It's just, I'm endlessly amazed at bands like this.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and it's all acoustic. They're not hiding it behind anything.
Yeah, there isn't even reverb on that mix. It's just like,
yeah, I know.
Love it.
All right, so now we'll do some questions, and then we'll begin to wrap it up.
Let's do it.
All right, so what music inspired you to start playing? This is from Dime Life. One of the mods, Fantasy, grabbed this question. What gave you the bug?
What gave me the bug? For the guitar was Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a local band first. I'd started taking guitar lessons from my dad as a way for us to. My parents split up when I was a little kid, so it was a way for me to get a little extra time with my dad. And he took me out to see a band, and I liked the guitar, but I didn't love the guitar. And then I was probably maybe 9 or 10, and I saw a blues band, and that's when I was like, oh, that's it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And then my dad said, well, you should check out this Stevie Ray Vaughan record live at Carnegie Hall, and I think it opens with Scuttle Button.
Yeah.
And I was just
fire.
like, yeah, that's the thing. I want
That's
to make
it.
that sound so bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, still to this day, I don't sound like Stevie Ray. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, but you sound like you though, and that's the goal.
I'd rather sound like him.
Oh man, you know, I love. So I have a buddy of mine, Anthony Stauffer, who has this channel called the Texas Blues Alley, and he does all Stevie Ray Vaughan lessons, and it's commitment to Stevie Ray Vaughan. But he started this new channel called like Vintage Blues in 4K, where he's taking all of these old Stevie Ray Vaughan VHS, like all these bootleg tapes, and upscaling them into 4K and enhancing the audio. And what's great about it is that he has a lot of footage of him like tuning up and like in between sets where the mic's like in the back and you get to hear him in like an empty theater. And it's like that's my favorite stuff, because like when you hear those little things where you hear it just him and you hear just him do the and it like ricochets off the rafter.
Yeah.
And you realize how fucking huge his sound was.
Yeah.
That gets your blood boiling,
Yeah.
you know? All right. Next question here. How powerful does the stash make you? They're saying I need a stash. That my licks are soft because I'm stashless.
It does strengthen. It strengthens a man, and hardens the licks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Take vocal lessons?
I have. I sang in a lot of choirs in high school.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was. That's the only.
believe
I
you,
actually
sir.
I graduated high school with honors, but not because of any of my academic courses, but just because I stacked my schedule with music classes.
Really?
So, yeah, I sang in like 3 or 4 different choirs. I played in concert band, stage band, jazz band. Yeah, I did all of it. So I didn't really take any formal vocal lessons until about 2 years ago when I moved back to Winnipeg. I lived in Toronto with my wife while she was going to university. We lived there for 3.5-ish years, and then when I moved back to Winnipeg, I was struggling with my voice a little bit, so I actually went back to see my old high school choir director, and she kind of whipped me into shape.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. How did you develop your slide style? So real quick before you jump into it, when I don't know how far through you watched that video I just did, was the first one I did of yours. When there was this one part where you're doing that behind the slide thing like Sonny Landreth, and I'm assuming you're not related, right?
I actually discovered that we are, apparently, according to him, I don't know Sonny, but
According to-
somebody saw him play and who knows me and said, "Hey, you know this guy?" And he said, "No, I don't met him, but I've never met him, but I'm pretty sure I saw him in the family tree." Like, so there's not a lot of Landreths kicking around. At least certainly not in Canada. There's more down there in the South in the U.S. But anyway, we are related. That's a long tangent. We are related, but it's not like I see him at family gatherings or anything.
No. I just find it, and I'll let you answer the question, wherever you want to start as far as being introduced to the slide. It's just one of the only other people, like when I saw you do that fingering behind the slide, and then like you muscled through like some atonal thing where you're just like kind of going for it, and then of course you land it, and I was just like, that's, I think Sonny Landreth immediately. I can't think of anybody else that I've seen do that, but of course I'm sure you have other examples. But yet, how did you get going with the slide? How'd you get to this point? Like, how do you think of it?
Sonny was my first slide hero. And I definitely lifted a lot of that behind the slide stuff from him, and then just sort of I was never actually that fascinated with slide until about my mid-20s, and I sort of had a whole life as a guitar player in between when I lifted the first pieces of Sonny Landreth stuff to when I actually started playing more slide, and so it was just a part of my playing that I then used as a way to problem solve, playing through more complex ideas harmonically and melodically that I was having trouble executing with just the slide. So then I started to use the behind the slide stuff as like a tool for being able to do, things like that kind of like sort of chromaticism stuff. So I was, that kind of thing was really, really hard to play with just the slide. And so the behind the slide sort of technique wound up being more of a problem solving tool than like I identify with this as my thing, But to answer the question itself, I jokingly say this, but I actually mean it wholeheartedly. I'm just doing bad impressions of all my favorite slide guitar players. So I think the reality is, like, I've learned a lot of Bonnie Raitt. I've learned a lot of
Love Bonnie Raitt.
Oh man, her playing is so underrated. I think she is so tasteful.
Yes, she is.
And her tone is never a sound that I would ever even be able to create, but it is truly incredible.
Yeah, I'm a huge Bonnie Raitt fan, and she might be one of my very favorite all-time singers as well, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like even that last Ray Charles record where she did that one song where she plays Slide On with Ray Charles, and just like, when she comes in with her slide thing, like right away, no one sounds like that. It's got that shimmer. It's got that metallic.
It's super bright. She uses metal finger picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's bitey, but it's still really luscious.
Yeah, and just the way that I'm a huge fan of Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah, but yeah, my slide sound is just learning licks from other people and practicing them enough that they just become a part of your vocabulary. Yeah, and it just starts to come out on its own.
Totally. Jeffrey Schrad comes in and says, "Watch Ian Thornley, Mississippi Fred live." That dude's. I've not seen that track. And so I did a video on him not too long ago, and I was blown away. He joined me on the channel. He was great.
No way.
Yeah, he was just on here like 2 weeks ago.
Oh man, I that's awesome. Ian, he's a fellow Canuck, and
yeah, I know, dude.
I know him a little bit as well.
Dude, on a complete and total side note, I just feel like everybody that I talk to that's a Canadian is just awesome and has great musical taste. Like, it's just
I assure you, there are plenty of dickheads up here.
I know that the basic laws of humanity do not pause in Canada.
They don't. They really, really don't.
People suck everywhere.
They do. People always say, "Oh, I love
people.
Canadians. They're so polite." Like, no, we're not polite. We're passive aggressive. You're just not picking up on the subtleties.
I kind of want to stab you.
I swear I haven't been passive aggressive with you. I swear.
You know what? Just because I'm gonna play a little piece of this, and then I'll let you do your thing, and then we'll call it, a stream. How about that?
Okay, sounds great.
Because you got one more queued up, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what does it say? Mississippi Fred. All right. I have not seen this, and I haven't seen him play slide. I just saw him.
Oh,
do
he's a
the,
monster, man. He's a monstrous. He's a really big Sonny Landreth fan too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've thought he was just a tremendous, straight up, picker and player, and so I haven't watched. Since we're talking slide, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you, sir. You make it easy. Have you seen this version of this tune?
Yes, I have seen this.
My baby did something, left a man feeling low. So my baby did something, left a man feeling low. Low.
He's such a great singer too, man.
Absolutely.
Left me at
Yeah, I hate to pause it. I'll play it again, but I loved that story when he had the opportunity. He was talking about to join Velvet Revolver or whatever, and they were like, yeah, but you can't play guitar. Then he's like, well, then no.
What? Like, man, if I was Slash, like, I know he's a great guitar player and everything, but like, if I was Slash, let that guy play guitar. Come on, that's
Dude.
got to like light a fire under your ass.
Dude,
You know?
not only that, well, that's the thing. Not only that, like, how different would it be if there was that guitar sound with it? But, I mean, I'm not saying that band didn't do great with who they chose, but Jesus, can Ian sing?
Oh, it's crazy. The song off of Albatross, 1,000 Days, the note he hits at the end is just like, every time I hear it, it just fills me with happiness.
All right, let's keep it going. Boom. That's a dirty sound.
So I engined up my buggy and saddled up my black man. Engined up my buggy and saddled up for my black man. See the man's appetite, Lord. I love it
Is that Pete Thorne back there?
Sure looks like it.
Pete's a great guy, man.
Man, I love that the drummer is actually managing to get that shaker out.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be loud in there.
Walking out on
You
Jackson.
gotta shake it right next to your face.
So my white dog is dirty. He's walking out on Jackson Farm. Six man's appetite, Lord, that just killed my white dog gone.
There you go. Yep. Throw that shaker away. Yeah, dude, he had some hot stuff in there.
That's some nice guitar playing, Mr.
That's some-
Thornley.
That is some nice guitar playing.
As we'd say here in Manitoba, you can go and frig right off.
Tim Austin, that's an interesting point. Something to be said, finding a guitar tone that matches your vocal tone also. I've never thought about it that way. But I know so many people, use the slide to sound like a voice and get away from the frets and get all the little nuance there. Your Derek Truxes of the world that just, make my jaw drop. With just, simple 1, 2, 3, but there's like 15 notes in between.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. I will let you wrap it up. Dealer's choice here. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and welcoming Joey to our little corner of the universe, the little musical world on YouTube. So what you got for us to bring it home?
Yeah, this is a little Mike Landau, and I'm buzzed. I'm just absolutely in love with his guitar playing and his sounds that he gets. And this is not the best recording that I can find, but
yes,
it's pretty wicked.
Now this is an hour 32. So what's your timestamp here? Where do you want to jump in?
Oh,
So I'm Buzz is just the first.
it's the first tune, yeah, right off the top.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I didn't know what you had in that coffee cup.
Sorry.
No sweat. All right, so shall we?
Let's do it.
All right.
It's the man, the myth, Michael Landau.
Okay, here we go, gentlemen. Yeah. Filthy. Yes!
He's such a madman.
I love people like this.
His playing is so adventurous.
I know. Yes.
What a mutant.
I love that note. Oh, it's so good. That was really hot.
Yeah. There's a
Dude, he's so adventurous and
Yeah.
unpredictable.
there's a record that he put out, I think, in the year 2000 called Live 2000, and it's that tune's on it. He's probably touring that concert was probably from that tour, I guess. But man, it's some of my favorite guitar playing, like electric guitar playing, because it's just like there is guitar player vocabulary in there, but it's also not like I don't think anybody plays any of the things that he plays the way that he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no,
there's like a finesse and a rawness to his playing at the same time that's just like they shouldn't coexist, but they do in his playing. And I just think it's man. Guitar
I
playing
mean-
at its finest.
no, you know what? You and I like the same basic stuff. I mean, I love seeing people like you said it perfectly before that there's guitar playing vocabulary in there, but there's things that are just you're only doing what he's doing, and when you're on your tippy toes, standing on the side of the building, just like just seeing what happens. You mentioned before, like when you play slide, you're basically doing an interpretation of all the people you loved and stuff like that. But when I listen to him, I hear a little of those, like you said, vocabulary, but there's so much stuff in there, just like no one else is going to do that, and they're sure shit not going to do it on the fly. And it's so clear
Yeah.
that he's listening to what he's doing just as much we are. You know what I mean? Like
It's very present, very in the moment. There's not a lot of like
the channel is wide open.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I get from that, and that's what I love. That's always been my goal is to be able to. I mean, it's the same for all of us. You're on stage, just to not think and just be fearless, and when you're in those weightless moments, there are no bad notes. You figure everything out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
It's just I miss those days. Got to get back to it.
Got to get back to it.
Got to get back to it.
Just play from your heart and be present in the moment, and it happens.
Yeah, and take chances.
That's right.
All right, brother. Well, dude, Joey, thank you so much, man. It's been great getting to meet you for the first time. I'm a huge fan, and I really just want to say thank you for taking the time and joining this little group we have going here on the internet on this Tuesday night.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for the kindness in the video, man. I really appreciate it. You're throwing a lot of positivity around, and I think it's nice to see, and especially on the internet when people can be super friggin' mean. So it's a really nice, beautiful thing that you're doing, and I appreciate being invited into your community. So thanks for having me.
You just made my whole day, my whole week. So thank you, and yeah, I mean that really is the consensus around the people in the community and the guests that come is that in this really hazy, weird world, this is one of those little tiny corners where, like, I'm sure you've noticed, there's like no negative comments. There's no like negative people, that are like doing this. If you watch the videos, if you scroll down and you look for it, I mean, most of the videos that I do have like single digit dislikes. It's basically impossible on YouTube.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, and it speaks to the people that are here, and I find like the good music, people that are passionate about it, whether it's bitchin' guitar playing like that or just real words and lyrics like the John Prine we dug into earlier. It's just a solid group, man, and we're lucky to have you, and I really thank you for taking the time and allowing us to get to know you a little more.
Well, pleasure's all mine. I feel the need to say I think you're selling yourself a little short, because I mean there are a lot of people doing a similar kind of platform to what you're doing, where it's professional players reacting to things, and I've watched enough of them where it's people watching things and then just shitting on other people the entire time. And,
oh yeah, we don't do that.
And you don't do that, and you certainly could. You're a great guitar player, and you know your stuff.
Thank you, sir.
But why? Like, why bother? Like, that doesn't do anybody any good. And I really
Exactly.
I respect the hell out of that. And I think you create an environment. I think we have to be deliberate about these things, because it is easy to criticize and be that guy. It's harder to take it and say like, okay, well, let's not go the easy route. Let's creating a positive environment, and it's not. I don't think it's altruistic. I think it's a choice, and I appreciate it, is what I'm trying to say, and I think your community appreciates it too. So thanks for doing what you do.
I sincerely appreciate you saying that. I think that it's absolutely true. It for some people, they think it's easier to be the tallest building by tearing the other buildings down instead of just building it all up together,
Totally.
And our whole mantra here, my whole mantra at like my website and the whole thing is just that we're here, we're getting better every day. Do it with me. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. And so negativity isn't tolerated. We do all kinds of adventurous things on this channel, and I appreciate that. Even meeting me for the first time and seeing perhaps one video and reading the comments, realizing that's what's going on here. I appreciate that you see it and it's clear.
I mean, I wish I could say that it wasn't kind of shocking, because to be honest, like there's a lot of negativity floating around, especially in the YouTube world.
I know.
Definitely on the internet, and
It's the
so
Wild West, man.
yeah, to see that was, I mean, it's definitely. When you reached out and said, "Hey, you want to do this?" Like, hell yeah, I want to be a part of this, even if it's just for one day. I want to take part in this, because I think this is what we could take a page from your book, my friend.
Oh well, dude. On that note, again, thank you so much, moderators. Thank you, Fantasy. You got Fishing Idaho's out there, Vandy. I know TL's at Caught in the Storm. I saw US Elite Ski out there. Thank you for all that you do. Everybody that donated and super chatted, thank you so much. You make this all possible. And please go, and if you are interested in not just supporting Joey, but taking lessons and learning some of his things, please hit him up over his website. What is it, joeylandreth.com/lessons?
That's right.
There you go. And I will see you guys. We're going to be doing another stream. I believe it's going to be Friday afternoon, so we can hit the other side of the world. If you did super chat tonight, we will go in order, because we're not going to have a guest then. So remember, if you did super chat and you think you got skipped, just have a drink. We're going to get to you eventually. And you know that I sincerely appreciate you. Love you all out there. Make sure you pick the damn thing up every day. Keep it in your hands. Try to get better. And we'll see you soon. Cheers. Joey, hang tight.
All right.